Welcome back to another episode of the Proud American Patriot, otherwise known as TPAP. We're still getting things up and running here, still trying to get things to the way I want them, slowly but surely. But what are we gonna discuss today? Well, this is gonna be something that I think many of you might disagree with me on. From the start, I told you I am a constitutionalist first and foremost, and I'm going to tell you what I think. That doesn't mean that I'm always going to agree with what happens on the right. What the leaders and leadership on the right does. Sometimes it goes against what I think, um, and we've got an example of that. Unfortunately, as many of you know, over the weekend, it was reported that Donald Trump was going to send National Guard troops to Portland to protect ICE from the rioting and assault there. In theory, it sounds like something should be done. That should be done. It sounds like it is the right thing to do to protect those ICE agents who are just doing their job and removing illegal aliens from the streets, sending them back to their home or wherever they end up deciding to go. But here's the problem. Without the permission from the state governor, Donald Trump really doesn't have any constitutional authority to deploy National Guard troops into a state or a city. I've read that he's using Title 10, which I'm not super familiar with it, but I don't think there's anything in there that really gives him the ability to declare martial law and to turn Portland into a martial law city, essentially. Now, it can also depend on how he's going to use these troops. If they are strictly in a federal facility, then it might be different. And I know a lot of people are thinking, well, he did it in Washington, D.C., and that's where the difference is. Washington, D.C. is a federal territory. He has full control over federal territories. So he can deploy troops there. He doesn't need to ask anyone's permission to deploy troops in Washington, D.C. States have their own autonomy. And as much as I disagree with the left and them saying, oh, if you were to walk down the streets, you'd see nothing but people riding bikes and having picnics and going to work, making it sound like it's this peaceful utopia, Portland isn't. So I'm going to take a look at a news article here real quick. This is from Fox 12, which I'm assuming is out of the Portland area, and the Associated Press. President Donald Trump on Saturday announced he will send troops to Portland. On Sunday, Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield and Governor Tina Kotek said in a news conference that Trump had invoked Title 10 to deploy troops into Portland. And that's why I was talking about the Title 10. I don't know for sure if that is going to give him full ability to do what he's trying to do. As I said, it's iffy from what I've read into Title 10. It is not the most exciting read, but I couldn't find anything in there about declaring martial law, and I really couldn't find anything about deploying troops into a city without the invitation, let's say, or request of the governor of said state. But going on here, Trump said on social media Saturday that he was directing the Department of Defense to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland. Trump said the decision was necessary to protect U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, otherwise known as ICE, facilities. His announcement was met with pushback from Oregon's governor and leaders in Portland. Oregon conservatives praised the president's decision. So here is where it gets a little bit tricky. Like I said, if they are just protecting the ICE facilities, which should be federal facilities, then that's one thing. He can probably do that. Once they go outside of that and act in an official capacity, that's where I think it'll get him in trouble, and that's where it very quickly becomes unconstitutional. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I think it may be a mistake. I would rather see Oregon request the National Guard to help maintain the peace, to stop the rioting, but we know that'll never happen. So, I mean, tell me what you think. Do you think Trump's right in doing this? Do you think that he should have um, not done this? Just let ICE kind of go about their thing, and hopefully no member of ICE get injured or killed. Do you think he's not going far enough? I'd love to hear your thoughts, what you think. Um, but in the meantime, I'd really appreciate it. Give me a like, thumbs up, share, leave a comment. It all helps with the algorithm, help me spread the word, build this channel and this project. And we'll talk again soon. Everyone have a great day.